Good gosh. So going out here for the next take. Trying to do a basic video for the crane form in the backyard. Probably during the hottest part of the day. I have no idea how many times I've done this. I do not have an assistant at this time, and I have a tripod slash selfie stick tripod. So please refrain from commentary because this is rough. Whew. And of course, I'm in a black t-shirt in the hottest part of the day in the backyard because of course I am. Let's do some kung fu. So I'm going to do the crane form, and one of the basic things to remember is everything takes place as far as footwork is concerned on 3 sides of a square. The length of each side is just past shoulder width apart. Now all of the techniques in this are relatively simple techniques, and you're required to apply the force and the pop and all the movements without popping your joints straight. So when you throw a punch, don't lock the elbow out straight. When you throw the kick, don't lock your knee out straight. You want to catch the joint before it locks completely out straight, because that is a surefire way to really aggravate joints, especially if you're having to do this, I don't know, like 10 or 15 times in a row in the heat of the afternoon. By now this is going to be looking a little rougher around the edges, as am I, because I am sagging, son. So let's try this again. All right, again, the most complicated part of the crane form as far as coordination is concerned is the crane salute, because it involves doing multiple things with both halves of your body, upper and lower. All right. And again, when I stop in between groups of small pieces of techniques and groups of techniques, when I stop or pause, that is where you would normally have the hups. I'm not going to call my own hups. I'm going to show you by pausing briefly in between sets of techniques. All right, so without further ado, the crane form. Again. Not supposed to have the hop right there. Sorry. Let's try that again. Really uneven ground out here makes it a little bit more challenging to nail that landing without the rock throwing you off. Okay, so all right. Again, staying on the 3 sides of the same square. I'm right now on the rear right corner. On these high inside blocks. So at this part, we get here and there's a wing block followed by palm strike ending with a punch. And then there's a crane's head beak block of the same variety with a scorpion fist. So there's only 2 times you'll do that crane head block and it's always right before you throw a scorpion fist. This is the first time, and then over here is the second time, toward the end. Now, the difference between those two blocks, a wing block just redirects. A crane head hooks. It's kind of like where the mantis hook kind of is found a lot more frequently. The mantis system loves them some hooks, and part of that comes from the influence that they get from the other animals, because they kind of like work together in their development and everything. And plus, there's only so many different ways you can move the same body. So the crane head is a lot like the mantis hook in terms of what it's doing. I really want to secure this hand and use it as, you know, I'm using it to create an opening, or maybe I'm hooking the opposite arm and drawing it across to prevent them, you know, to foil them from throwing the next technique. Meanwhile, that scorpion fist is coming up on the inside of the guard and nailing them, usually through the primary target areas for scorpion punches. Let's see what else. Some of the rear facing things that I'm doing. This is this. So, got to get my directions changed. So, I'm blocking high-low. I'm using that eagle wing to drag their arm aside. I'm throwing the wing palm and then finishing grabbing with the hand, drawing them into an elbow strike. So block, parry, guide away, strike, grab, and end them like so. Now the other one that I do facing this way is from this side, and I do something over here like so. I came from this facing that direction, and I'm blocking low, blocking high, hooking the head and bringing it down into a hammer anvil strike with my knee to the head. So this is kind of bearing up high to keep them from following through with either a grab or a strike, and this is dragging their head down, kneeing them, and they can't stop it because I've got part of their guard covered. Now, the last thing that I do with that is send them that way. But then, maybe they're good, maybe someone else is running in, this hand gets grabbed. This hand comes around, does the strip like at the very first part of the form, except this time it hooks and grabs. And then it drags them around for that finale there. Now, the application for this is kind of varied and a little bit situational, but it's got layers of application, and that's a whole different class. We can spend like 2-3 hours on crane form applications, because as you can see, it's not a very short form, but it's very dense in information and application. But it's just, for now, this is just kind of like a really gross basic run through the crane form. Any questions, contact me directly. Thank you.